sunflowers are so tall. I've been wanting to measure them all week because I've never had sunflowers this tall before. Think this thing will even make it up there?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
No, it will.
Okay. Oh no, it's bending, it's bending. Stay. Oh god. I need like a ladder probably, huh? Okay. Keep
More.
going, keep going. Oh my god, don't bend, don't bend. I'm so close, I'm so close.
Gotta lean it. There you
Okay,
go.
okay,
More.
okay.
It's gotta go a little taller.
Are we there? Oh no, 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 no. I feel like we're about there though. Alright, let's see. They're like about 13 feet. I thought they'd be 20. Guess I overestimated. That's pretty tall though. Oh my god, 13 feet. So now I just need to get a ladder. I need to get up there and I need to put tulle around it. And I'd like to save seeds for these guys, because that's just too fun. What on earth is their problem? Oh, the owls are going. You hear it?
Everybody acting up all of a sudden.
I wonder if they're reacting to the owls. This Jarndale's finally taking off, look. I wonder if we're gonna get some rain. Lily helped me and planted corn randomly throughout the garden because I liked how it looked. Come see. So I just have these random corns out here. They just popped up on their own. And I decided I liked how that looked. So I went ahead and I had a bunch of extra corn and I'm excited for it to grow. I think there's a storm coming through. I keep hearing a tree falling. Did you hear that? There's trees coming down. What am I doing out here?
Just keep an eye out. Watch the trees.
Whoa, there's a flood. Okay. We might have to do this some other
Just
time.
keep your eyes upwind.
Scaring me. I'm scared the tree's gonna come on you. What's going on? Look at the trees. Oh my god. Whoa, that was a big one that came down. Oh, I'm scared. Some garden tour, huh? Another one coming down. Ever since, oh, here comes another one. I don't know if the camera picks it up. Ever since that tree came down on me when I was doing that garden tour, hopefully y'all can hear me with this wind here. Shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't like being out there in weather like this. It's too scary. You want to see my new cattle panels? So I know I said that I was not going to get any more cattle panels, but well, we decided to get 2 more. Nathan had this idea. And so you can go inside them like this, see? Because it's always fun to have more ports in your garden. You never have too many. I've got a bunch of loofah plants in the greenhouse that need to go out, and they're gonna go on these 2 guys here. So I guess this week I'm gonna be moving more dirt, which is my favorite activity. I gotta go above the tomatoes. Look at this. Oh my god, this is so crazy. We're gonna try this again, now that the weather's calm. I couldn't hear myself think underneath the pounding of that umbrella. It was just too much. but I have had some things that came down, a few sunflowers, so I'm gonna get my twine and we'll take a little walk around the garden and tie things up while we talk about some of the challenges that I've been dealing with in my garden this year. I've got one plant that just came down here. This particular tomato has been doing fabulous. Now it has gotten some early blight, and I've just trimmed that off. It's generally on just one leaf or two at a time. And I'm still seeing a lot of good, healthy growth coming from the bottom here. This is one of the plants that I collected seeds from last year. In fact, I have noticed that all of the open pollinated seeds that I collected from my garden last year, all those plants are a lot healthier than the other ones that I just ordered online. They are getting a bit of early blight, but they are recovering and they're still putting out a lot of growth. So it'll be interesting to see as I do this each year if I can create plants that are able to handle my environment better and are experiencing the different funguses and bacteria that I have in my garden and able to overcome. I think this one was an open pollinated lemon blush. One of the challenges that I've been dealing with this year, and I deal with it, I would say, a little bit each year, depending on the weather, because I can't control it, is blossom end rot. In fact, I see one right here. That is, this section has had it the most. So blossom end rot happens when your plant is not getting enough calcium. And it's not necessarily because you don't have enough calcium in your soil. It's most likely because you're having inconsistent watering. In this situation, they've been getting too much water, which it makes it so that the plant is unable to absorb all the calcium that it needs to get. And then you end up with tomatoes that get rotten on one end. And I can't control the weather, and I was hoping we were going to have nice... Oh, trigo. This string is not gonna be very good. Look at this. Trigo. Oh boy. You're gonna make this fun. Blossom end rot can also happen when your plant is not getting enough water. And when I see them like this, I just remove them because they'll just get all rotten and it's just a waste of energy. This plant can be putting its energy into healthy fruits. These tomato rows have gone wild. This is a mixture between the open pollinated lemon blush seeds that I collected last year and then the lemon blush that I bought from online. At this point, y'all, they're getting so tall. They're about 11 feet tall at this point and they're starting to come down. I've been able to weave some through, but some of these sections, like this one, is so thick and dense, I can't. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that. But I think I can kind of tie this one up to give it more support. Trigo. What am I gonna do with you? Some of these guys just need some seat belts. Getting too heavy. See this one here, I might be able to weave it through. There we go. See, got more blossom end rot right here. Just too much rain. And I was looking at the forecast last week and it was supposed to be nice and sunny all week and hot. But that's changed. We're getting more rain all week. What is. Chickens like them though. So every year I Generally we'll have, I would say I've dealt with early blight before. I've had late blight and septoria leaf spot, and generally it's just one that I'm dealing with in the garden. This year I've got all three. And I would say trimming off the early blight, and especially a septoria leaf spot, off of the sick parts of my plant has been going pretty well. Some better than others. See, these have been doing well. I've got some that I'll show you that look pretty cracked out at this point. Oh, weird. Huh. I thought this was a Long Island cheese, but it's not. Look. It's a Tahitian melon. Isn't that fun? Huh. And it didn't cross-pollinate with anything. Doesn't look like it anyway. I mean, the shape looks normal. Guess we'll see as it fully develops. But I've always been told that the squashes are notorious for cross-pollinating, but you know, you read those things and it's, oftentimes I read things online and it's not necessarily accurate. I've got to experience myself, I guess. This guy I've just kind of been weaving through, and he's climbing up a little bit here and there. We'll just let it go. This particular plant, I don't know what this one is. Got sick quite a bit. I had to cut a lot of it off here. But I see it's got some new growth down here at the bottom, so that's interesting. Let's just kind of see how it does. Oh goodness, this string has gotten ridiculous. And Triggel's not helping it. Triggel, look at this. It's an absolute mess. Just about a week ago, I noticed when I came out here that some of my tomato plants were getting late blight. And I'll be honest with you, I panicked a little bit because late blight is a lot more detrimental and deadly than early blight or septoria leaf spot. Because late blight will attack the fruit itself, not just the leaves. It also spreads a lot faster. Normally with the early blight, you know, I'll see it on a leaf or two and I'll just take that off. But the late blight, it will take out a whole stem very quickly and spread from there. Luckily, it hasn't been affecting all of my tomato plants. It's mostly been just my black tomato cherry plants, Trigel. I had to perform some heavy surgery on some of them, just removing those sections. I debated because a lot of people will say you should just rip up the plant. I'm experimenting to see if I can just trim off the stuff that is sick and if the plant can recover from there. Some are doing great, others still keep getting it, but I just keep trimming it off. And I guess I'll save seeds from the ones that were able to survive, if that's possible. We'll see. But how you spot late blight. The leaves look kind of greasy almost. A grayish, greasy look to them, and the whole section of the plant will start drooping and look dead. Late blight is also different. It cannot overwinter in the soil. It has to be on a living plant. So it generally is going to be carried by the wind. It can travel up to 30 miles by wind. Pests can also transfer it. So this Long Island cheese, it's been kind of interesting to watch. Let me show you here. This right here, you see these white sections? That's the very, very early signs of powdery mildew. From there it spreads and it gets really blotchy and ugly. Now I've been noticing this plant. It's been quite interesting to see. In fact, I think I got a video of these leaves specifically. It had powdery mildew. The newer growth gets this powdery mildew, but then the plant is recovered. It's been kind of fun to watch, really. And then you look at the older leaves and they don't have it at all. Some plants, like this Long Island cheese, can get sick, but they're able to resist it. That's one of the reasons I got this one again, is because it just kept going and going and going until our frost. So we'll see how well. I'm sure this plant will just be covering this in no time, and it will be really fun. Now some squashes do have variegated leaves, and you might think, oh, is that powdery mildew? No, it's just a variegated leaf, and it's supposed to look like that. Oh, this one just came down all the way. This particular one, this is the Juliet Pest tomato. It's a hybrid that I wanted to try, and I honestly haven't been very happy with it. The Pest tomatoes they're making are just very much on the small side, which if I'm going to be processing tomatoes, I like them to be a decent size because I'm going through the effort of having to peel them all, and these ones are just not very big, see? I guess that's one of the things that was good about the Amish Pest tomato that I did last year, but it just did not produce very well and it got very sick. I see that I do have some that are open pollinated back here that I saved seeds from. Let me show you those. This one hasn't done as well, I would say, with the sickness. But we'll see. I'm not sure. I don't think I'll save seeds from it. I do like that the Amish Pest has bigger tomatoes on it though. That is nice. But not doing so well as far as sicknesses go, even though it did already have a season in my garden previously. The other thing I've noticed that has been new, that I've never experienced before here, is called bacteria wilt. And I've noticed a lot of my plants started to get it. And it's where your leaves will start just wilting randomly, and it starts at the very top of the plant. This one did have it, but it seems to be recovering, which is kind of interesting. Bacterial wilt is either soil or waterborne. Cucumber beetles and root knot nematodes can also carry it. And what happens is it gets inside the vascular system of your plant, and it clogs it up so that it's unable to get any nutrients to the plant and eventually kills the plant. And cucumber beetles is one of the things I do have in my garden. And what happens is they'll bite your plant, transferring that bacteria into it. It's been interesting to see that I've had a black cherry, I think it was, that started getting very wilty at the top. I wish I had filmed it so I could have shown you. Nate's the one that pointed it out to me, and I was like, I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. So I looked into it, and sure enough, you know, I was able to find out it's called bacterial wilt, or sometimes it's called southern wilt, because it happens in very humid, hot environments, which is what we have out here in the south. But that black cherry also recovered from it. So that's kind of interesting. All right, let me put this tomato plant up. Guess I didn't do very good at tying these through. Got a worm here. I think this variety is called a tomato, just a tomato worm. They're kind of gray. And they'll often be hiding on the underside of a leaf. Here you go, rooster. The spaghetti squash is just going crazy. It's doing great. See, I've got another little one up there. And the pest pressure has been a lot less on my squash. I haven't been seeing the lady squash beetles as much as I've been seeing the Nasa tristis variety. They kind of come in waves. But I've found that staying on top of the pests hasn't really been that difficult. I haven't felt very overwhelmed with it. And Nate's been helpful. He's been coming out here with me, and he's gotten really good at finding eggs and seeing the bugs. So that's been a huge help. It's one of the reasons I have this ladder here. It's because I'm not tall enough to get up there. This arch here has gone crazy. I might have to get my hat. That sun keeps peeking through. One side here is the tomato spoon. And this one was just given to me as like an extra packet, gift packet when I ordered seeds. And I honestly haven't been very happy with it. It's very susceptible to early blight. I'm constantly having to trim it off, and it's got so many tiny leaves that it's just like, I've often debated, like, should I just let it go at this point? I see an egg. I'm not going to be doing this one next year. But over here is the black cherry. And this one has dealt with late blight a lot. I had to do some heavy surgery here. We'll see. It's still just going crazy. And I like the flavor of the black cherries. They're just deliciously plump and satisfying to eat. This sunflower came down. This 12-foot sunflower here. This has been one of the best rows as far as tomatoes go, and in plants in general. It's just been doing great. Most of these are all open pollinated beefsteaks from tomatoes I collected last year. And they've been doing great. In fact, the one up front, it has gotten a bit of blight at the bottom, but it is producing so many tomatoes. I love beefsteaks, but I've always found that they don't produce very many per plant. Smarrow's running over to the pond. But I was counting over there, y'all. I have almost 15 beefsteak tomatoes growing on one plant. And this one too, look at this. I wonder if this is a Kellogg's breakfast. And then several of these, let's see, here we go. See this potato leaf? I have a few of the brandywines that didn't get sick. Most of them got sick. In fact, that's why I ended up doing the ones that I collected from seed last year out here, is because all my beefsteak brandywines got sick with blight so quickly that I went ahead and ripped them up. A few of them were able to resist the blight and not get it as much, and are doing really well. I think I have 3 of them. So I'm excited to try those this year. I've heard a lot of good things about the brandywine, and I will definitely be saving seeds from the ones that have done well. Look at this tobacco, it's looking great. This is all the Perique variety that's good for pipe smoking, and then over here, this is the Southern Beauty. Can you see the difference? There is a difference in the leaf. So that will be good. We're gonna blend those up and make a nice blend for Nathan's pipe. I'm excited about that, to try it out. But they've been doing great next to the tomatoes. I've got this one that's really getting tall. I need to come out here, and I guess we need to tie these up too. Look at how big these leaves are. So early blight, how I always spot it, I like to spot it when it's very small. It starts out as a little dot, in fact, right here. From there, it kind of turns into a bullseye and spreads, turns yellow, and eventually spreads throughout the leaves, and it will kill off the leaves of your plant. Let's try it without the ladder. Okay, let's go up. Whoa, that's heavy. This is a lot heavier than I thought it would be. There we go. I wondered when these would start coming down. It's like a jungle out here, y'all. This Odessa zucchini squash is very prolific, and I do like the flavor, especially for making zucchini lasagna. Zucchini lasagna can be watery if you don't bake the zucchinis first a little bit, and even then it can be watery. But I found with this particular variety, it's just not, and I love it. It's delicious. Look. This thing is climbing very slowly. It's not vining out like I'm used to climbing squash doing, which is very thick. And it is going, you see. The other thing too, I have not seen as many pests on this one. It's a lot more prickly than your average squash. I don't like touching it. It will give you splinters. It's not fun. So I'm always careful, and I've been trimming it up a lot. Oh, look. Do you see that damage there? Anytime you see it, investigate. I see there's very freshly hatched lady squash beetles. In this situation, I just removed the leaf because there's so many. So I'm gonna get my scissors and try not to prick myself. Ah, see? I don't know if that shows up, but here's where they hatched out of. Those are the eggs. And then they're very, very tiny when they first hatch. Very tiny. And I see some more on this leaf, just a few. So with these ones, I'm just gonna squish them. There's not very many. Ah, right here, some Manasseh tristis eggs. Ha! You see, I was just telling you guys that there's not very many pests on this one. I guess I spoke too early. Ooh, this guy is so prickly. See all my pretty black Spanish turkeys? I like how they look. We sadly lost one. We had another fox attack. He got one of our black Spanish and then I think 2 of our chickens. Lily was out in the morning and she's like, "Mom, there is a turkey on the porch." I was like, "What?" I went out there and sure enough, there was a turkey. We have an old refrigerator from the 50s out there. And he was standing on top of it. And I thought, uh-oh, this is not a good sign. Something must have attacked our flock. So I came out here and sure enough, I counted them up. We only had 5, not 6. But Morrow, our golden retriever puppy, she's been chasing them off for us. One of the interesting things about foxes is that they do announce themselves when they come to a new territory to challenge any other foxes in the area. And the sound they make is quite interesting. I just let Morrow out and she's been chasing him off. Morrow, go get him! She's been quite the good little fox dog lately. Not a very good bird dog. She'll eat the birds, but maybe we can make her into a good fox dog. Nathan went ahead on the outside perimeter of our turkey run, poured cement. Lily wet it down for him. Now we have concrete around the outside of the turkey runs, so that fox, it makes it harder for him to dig. So that's really the only way he can get into our run at this point. Oh goodness, guys. Last week I was right here just doing my normal routine of going through, you know, checking things, tying things up, pulling off blight here and there. And I saw movement. There was a massive copperhead right by my feet. And the girls went ahead and got the snake tongs for me. And I was able to safely pick him up, put him in the bucket. This guy's thick. Gotcha. It's pretty. And then Nathan relocated him for me. That is the first copperhead I've seen in my garden. But my garter snake that I had out here, she decided to move on, and then I had a copperhead move in. One of the last things I wanted to talk to y'all about that's important if you're going to be removing any type of fungus or something that can spread is your tools. When you're removing a fungus, you want to make sure that you are sanitizing your shears, your cutting tool between each plant. Because if you don't, you can spread that fungus between the plants. Bringing a spray bottle with you with rubbing alcohol, you can just spray your shears between each tomato plant. That way you're not accidentally transferring a bacteria or a fungus to another plant. But with that bacterial wilt, there can be plants that have that bacteria, but they're not showing any symptoms. So if you go and trim off a little bit of fungus from that one, and then trim another plant with those dirty shears, you could transfer that bacteria to that plant. All right, I'm gonna go in and cool off. Take care, and we'll see you next time.